In Wisconsin, the stories start before sunrise. They start in a deer stand, in a duck blind, on the front deck of a bass boat. Welcome to the Flippin Sticks and Throwin Lead podcast. With your hosts, Eric Tasker and former Major League pitcher Paul Wagner, this is everything outdoors. Hunting, fishing, conservation. The wins, the misses, and the memories that stick with you for a lifetime. Out here, you earn your stories, and we're here to tell them.
All right, Mr. Wagner, Eric Tasker here. The Flippin Sticks and Throwin Lead podcast. Boy, 7 weeks now, Mr. Wagner, until we get to... We're going to just spend all of our time this fall in the woods.
I love it.
Isn't that great? And you're going to be done with baseball, you know, in October. It's going to be here. We're going to have beautiful, crisp mornings like we had a couple days this week. Boy, what a change. 40-degree swing in the last week.
I was driving back from the ballpark the other day, and it still said at like 10:30, it still said 87 degrees.
Isn't that something?
And then last night coming back from the park, it said 53 degrees. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we are all, I think we're settled here. Again, it's the Flippin Sticks and Throwin Lead podcast. We are, we have a different backdrop every week now. We're making it work. We're bringing the people what they want. We're at your place. We're at my place. We're setting the internet on fire with our campfire controversies. People are not happy with us right now.
I can't wait because I love the segment. I said that to you. There's so many things to talk about and topics that get people fired up. And I love it the way that we play. You have to, because I've learned this a long time.
Yeah.
In radio, you play good cop and bad cop. So regardless of our thoughts, and it's kind of seemed like we could easily take both sides.
For sure.
So I like that, where I play one side, you play the other side, and then just listen to the comments. And it's crazy how little things tweak people, but that's what it's all about. It's conversation, it's opinions, it's talking, and everything has been pretty civil to an extent. So
yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just give you the updated number on last week's campfire controversy, which was just so funny to dive into, because all of a sudden you tell people, you know, you shouldn't be shooting as far as you are, and they get so butthurt about it.
Yeah.
So we are at a grand total of 607 likes, 297 comments.
I like that. I like the comment section.
And a total of 88,856 views on that video.
I love it.
And I'm just so proud of the editing on that, because it leaves just enough to get people really worked up about it. So it's perfect. It's just so perfect. And I love that it ended. And even a couple people commented on it. I like the guy at the end that says no, which is perfect, because that's what the segment is all about.
Yeah.
It's all about just finding something that everybody always thinks about, talks about, and discusses with the outdoors, hunting, fishing, wildlife, whatever, and just playing both sides of it. Because most of these, you could develop an argument either way.
And I think this one was good because it isn't necessarily a topic that is mentioned very often.
Right.
So that's why I think it triggered me, triggered you, triggered people, because it's not something, it's not an establishment thing where you have to buy a license. It's not, cut in stone. This is just something that was randomly thrown out there, basically.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're like, wow, there are opinions on it. So I do. I like it. I'm looking forward to today's. Exactly.
When it's going to be another good one. And I think that we will find a way to position it that people will get.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but first, let's start with this. So there was an article that came out not that long ago. Look, we've talked about CWD and we've talked about all these things so many times. The recurring theme with it I think, at least like my perception, I think our agreed perception is we can make a really big deal out of CWD, but there has not been a solution that has worked for managing the outbreak or managing the issue, right? So we try and stop baiting, doesn't matter. There's still going to be natural food sources that deer are walking through, and they're foraging in a group and they're doing all that stuff. Okay, so stopping the baiting is not fixing it. That was a big thing.
Right.
The testing. Well, what does the testing actually do? It just puts another 3-year ban on your county. Because what are they actually doing with that? I don't know.
And with the testing, again, then it goes down to funds.
Right.
Why are we allocating money to CWD testing sites and this when we're going to go over this? You're going to bring up the numbers where nature is basically taking over. The populations are estimated. One has an estimate of almost 1.9 million white-tailed deer. And we're always looking for money.
Yeah.
So if CWD is this ghost we're chasing, and if it's a money scheme,
yeah,
let's filter it. Let's use it more productively.
So I'm going to just read this whole kind of excerpt.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I like it. I like it.
The Rack Junkies Facebook and Instagram page says, the country's leading CWD genetics researcher just called CWD by far the most corrupt area of scientific concern. CWD is a scam.
I think
Paul
so.
Wagner.
It is.
He has ever experienced in his career. Dr. Christopher Seabury is a tenured professor at Texas A&M who has spent more than 2 decades studying prion diseases, which is what CWD is, and has worked with USDA on genetic approaches to CWD. In a recent letter, Seabury pointed to Wisconsin as the real-world example nobody wants to talk about. Despite years of aggressive CWD management, including attempts to drastically reduce deer numbers, CWD continued to spread. Yet, according to the Wisconsin population data, he included the state's deer population increased by more than 82% from 2008 to 2024, reaching an estimated 1.825 million deer in the state.
Which was the heart of the CWD concern.
Yeah. Just a little more on this. Seabury's argument is that nature is already doing what government management and oversight has failed to do, selecting for deer that are more tolerant or more resistant to CWD, allowing them to become infected but still survive and reproduce. So, survival of the fittest, right, is the age-old thing about human population, wildlife populations, like different countries that are like developing, like the fittest and the healthiest that can adapt to the current circumstances are the ones that survive.
Yeah, and it's almost like an unfair. Maybe CWD is the disease that attacks weaknesses, respiratory issues, or liver or blood malfunctions, or white blood cell counts, or red blood cell counts, or something that is off track for these animals. And CWD is just the infestor that accelerates and extinguishes it. But the ones that are healthy, I just don't know, because of the fact, and I'm not concerned, and we've talked about this before, is because there's no study, after he's been doing it for many years, that if you do by chance eat venison that was with a CWD infected animal, there is no quote unquote right now
transfer
to the human. It still tastes good. It tastes like jerky. Yeah. Still love the back straps. And obviously if we get a mangy one or something that looks like it's very sick, obviously we don't. It's common sense.
He writes that, quote unquote, Mother Nature has already done the experiment for us, and she won in the battle against CWD.
Well, the numbers prove it, don't they?
Right. Well, how could we have such a healthy herd, a growing population? It's grown 82% from, so in 2008, we must have had 1 million deer.
Okay.
If we're at 1.825.
Yep.
It's doing what it's supposed to do. It is the true Darwin definition of survival of the fittest.
No, you're exactly right.
Right?
I go back to the conspiracy theory stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, why? What? Let me, and you know what? You can always follow, you always follow the money trail. You always follow the paper trail. And I'm just wondering now, when I hear somebody like that who has that education from Texas A&M, who's been studying it and knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Why? Who are the people spearheading these fundraisers, these issues, or why are they spearheading this to the front? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to scare people from joining the hunting force?
Right.
Are they trying to scare people to not eat? Are they trying to scare people that, hey, we need to just put more money in it, make more donations so we can figure it out? I always think there's something behind it because, like,
There's money laundering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nature takes care of it.
So he finishes this up, and I think this is just like a great summary of this. Mother Nature has already done the experiment for us, and she won in the battle against CWD. Before he finishes and says, the entire CWD field is the most corrupt area of science he has encountered, and warning states to follow actual evidence instead of ideological talking points. And I think it just goes back to what you were saying or alluding to of what is the research that's happening? What is happening? Is it just another way for insurance companies to back these lobbyists or these groups so that they fund the research, they put out the PR, they put out all of this stuff to try and kill more deer so there's less car accidents? Because that's always been like an underlying theme in the state, is that, the American families and the progressives and all of these places that are like based here and have a lot of clients that are in the state, is that they go for that, back that, spend the money to support any of these organizations that reduce the amount of hunting, because then they're not out of pocket more paying for all of these car rides.
That's deep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's deep. I don't get it. I really would like to see the breakdown of how Wisconsin separates and distributes their monies, the DNR, not the state of Wisconsin, the Department of Natural Resources,
Yeah.
how they distribute their monies, or like I said, their resources to different areas. Is it a large number? Is it something that I would look into and say make up a number? It's 80% of the funding goes to CWD
Right.
research.
Right.
Now I think it's a hoax.
Yeah.
1.8% goes to CWD research. Now maybe I change and don't believe in the
Right.
conspiracy theory. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'd really like to see those numbers, because I think there are so many things, and we touch on it, both hunting, fishing, outdoors, hiking trails,
Right.
public launches, everything, that the money the DNR does and can filter through is so important. I'd like to see that number and just see if it is a monster number.
Yeah, and just to have some disclosure or some transparency on what are they doing?
What
with
are
all
they
this
doing?
money?
What are they doing? What are they doing?
We
And
just
maybe-
want to know.
and maybe
we
it's
just want
there.
to know what's going on.
And maybe it's there and we just haven't researched it. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe we
Right.
can go to the site and it tells you exactly how they allocate their monies, where it's going, what the studies are doing, and we just haven't done the research yet. So maybe we jumped
Yeah.
the gun a bit.
Yeah. Nah, but let's just say it and see what the internet has to
Hoax.
say.
It's a hoax.
Oh man, that's so good. But how do we move forward now? Like what will actually change, if anything, after this very famous scientific researcher, this very, well-known, well-respected, tenured deer researcher comes out with such a strong statement like that? Do you think anything changes? I don't think you have to answer that,
Yeah,
but
I'm like, this isn't the mob.
Right.
He's gonna. I always say that to those guys when they like Jimmy Hoffa and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the things don't want to go out, and we see all the movies, the Mission Impossibles and
Right.
stuff like that. But yeah, it is, and it's exposure, and it's an exposure of, in his mind, my interpretation of his view is that it's a fraud. That's my interpretation. I'm not putting words into his mouth.
Right.
I'm just reading it. But my interpretation of what he says is CWD is a fraud and it's a scam. And
Yeah.
that's to see how deep it goes.
yeah, and I think it's just like one of those. I feel like so many times, when we found out, or when the studies came out, or when they continue to publish articles about CWD and how there has been no transfer to humans, and that, as far as we know, it's safe to continue eating that venison, whatever. For all of us that have been on this bandwagon of it's a joke, this is stupid, I understand it's detrimental to the deer population, but it doesn't impact us in any way, shape, or form. It's an article that we can stand there now and say, I've been telling you.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for so long. And now we finally actually have somebody that's smarter than all of us saying,
right.
There's cause and reason for concern with what they're doing.
And why? Why? Like, why?
And
Why?
Right.
Why?
Well, and I think that's just like such a big thing that now this has been 20 years of this going on. I think about it like with COVID, where, oh my God, CWD is a thing. It's in the state. We have to rectify it. Let's do everything that we can. And like initially, there's a very, very big cause for concern. Totally fair response.
Right.
Is it something that we can fix? Okay. You are a year and a half or 2 years into COVID now, and everybody suddenly doesn't wear masks, and it's not as bad as it was. The vaccine doesn't work. All of these things that started to unfold with it, and everybody started to feel more comfortable. They're going back out in public. They're going to events. Okay, that's a super short window compared to what we're talking about here, where it's 20 years.
Right.
So at what point does this just become an afterthought, or do you think that it's already kind of an afterthought for a lot of deer hunters in the state?
Well, that's pretty good.
Across the Midwest.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. At first, you don't know. We didn't know.
Right.
We didn't know with COVID. We didn't know with CWD. But as research
Who's the guy that ate the venison?
right, who got sick or something? What happened? And yes, and I hate to compare it to COVID because it was a terrible time.
Right.
Many people, including myself, we've lost loved
Yeah.
ones due to illnesses and stuff like that, especially during that time. But it's almost like it's an action that creates a reaction, or it's a little above my pay grade. I'm not that smart, but an action and a reaction, and then you realize what it is. Whereas now, I think CWD has ran its course,
Right.
and I don't believe, like you said, I don't believe there's that big of a concern. And then I was trying to going to go the different way and say, okay, the game farms, the deer farms, maybe that's one to worry about. Well, why? Deer farms usually sell to, in fenced in places, huge deers. They mix and match animals. It's a whole different thing.
Right.
But you can still consume the meat. So CWD there, if they escape from a fenced in area, it's going to cause CWD spread, but it doesn't. If it does, what is the outcome, or there's no problem with CWD, or at least that we have seen in the last 20 years.
Right. So I have two things with this. First question is, have you ever had a deer tested for CWD?
No.
Okay. Have you ever thought, this deer kind of looks funky, maybe I should get it tested, and didn't? Like, have you ever personally, or have you ever known somebody aside from me that thought maybe something might be wrong with the deer?
Yeah, I've thought. I guess I don't. When I see a deer that's malnourished, or I see ribs, I think it's sick. I don't really right away go to CWD.
CWD.
I got to go get it tested. I just
Mhm.
say, you know what, that animal isn't going to be consumed by me,
Right.
regardless if it has CWD or not. It's just
Mhm.
not going to be consumed.
Yeah.
But no, I've never had it tested. Never really thought about it. I've never been one that bought into the
Okay.
CWD
Yeah.
even back in the day. I just
Sure.
never did. And having the farms in Kansas and
Mhm.
out west, not out west, but the Kansas and the Iowas and the Missouris,
Yeah.
I've heard stories about the blue tongue or things that came in
Right.
when water became down droughts and they were drinking bad water, algae water with mosquito larvae, all
Yeah.
that stuff, and then they were dying. Yeah, but that is kind of regrouped back. I never bought into the CWD, nor did I ever
Yeah.
have one tested. Did
Yeah.
you?
I did. I happened to shoot a doe. Boy, it's got to be 10 years ago now. It was one of the first years that we started hunting in the spot that we have been up north. I shot a doe, cleaned her, drug her out. We were loading it into the back of the truck, and it just so happened that a pair of DNR officers, wardens, were driving down the back road, and they were like, "Hey, if you want, we'll just take the thyroid out. We'll cut through the cheek as long as you're okay with that, and we'll send it in for testing for you."
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Okay, well, first of all, thank God that I had the appropriate tags, okay, because I was a little nervous." But so we did it, and I actually thought, when we were cleaning the deer, field dressing it, doing all that, I was like, you know what? This deer looks like it's got a cold. Like it had kind of like goop in its eye, like almost like
Yeah,
when you wake
yeah,
up in the
yep,
morning, you got like
yep.
the sleep in your eyes or whatever. I was like, I've never seen this before. And, I mean, at that time I hadn't shot a ton of deer, but I'm like, it looks strange enough that maybe, I
Right?
don't know.
Okay.
And just so happened that the DNR wardens were there, and that they were like, they didn't even ask us for a license or anything. They
Gotcha.
just like
Wanted to test the animal.
assumed. Yeah. Which I thought was very nice. And they just asked us if we wanted to get it tested. I said, yeah, sure. Came back negative, no problems whatsoever. So apparently I've shot a deer that just had a cold. I'm not really sure, but
yeah.
it was enough for me that I was like, you know what? I probably wouldn't go out of my way to get it tested.
Yeah.
But since you're here, why not? Like, you're going to take care of everything for
Right.
me. I don't
Right.
have to worry about it.
Right.
They took down my name, phone number, and they just sent me a text message or called me with the results once it was.
Gotcha.
So, shoot, there was something else I was going to ask you about that. I don't know. Either way, whatever.
When I shot my bear, DNR officials were there.
Okay.
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was nervous. We shot that bear. We went back to the bar. We dragged it in there. We were drinking. Then I went and registered it. I'm like, I got a beer in my hand. And, it was Zone C at that time. They've
redone it,
bears and stuff. And I'm like, I put the wrong county in or the wrong thing. And I'm like, oh man. And these DNR guys didn't crack a smile, but they said, so we took the animal and we weighed it. And then we had it on a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood.
Okay.
I think, or maybe 2 sheets.
Yeah.
And he goes, nope, take it off. So we had to take and I'm nervous still. We take the bear off. We weighed the sheets and we did that, blah, blah, blah. Everything was fine. And for testing, obviously they didn't do CWD for bear, but he goes, we're going to cut out the 12th back. We're going to cut out the back molar, and we're going to take this and we're going to take that, and we're just going to have it tested, and we will send you the results straight faced again. And for your time, we will put you in the drawing for a free shotgun. Is that it? As soon as they left, cracked open another beer. I go, I can still hunt. I didn't. They gave me a new card to fill out correctly.
Nice.
And they weren't mad, but they took it. Obviously, they tested it for something, unless they just did an age classification. Right. The bear that I shot, if you have ever seen it up in Holcomb, it is at the bar up at Flater's.
Yeah.
There are pictures, like I said, back in 2009, it was one of the top bears shot.
Yeah.
You can actually see where the tag ripped out of its ear. His ear actually has like a V in it.
Oh, nice.
So it
That's
was
cool,
a
though.
tagged, it was a tagged bear. And I'm assuming they tried to do a correlation with it to see where it traveled.
Sure.
But the ironic thing was, or the thing that really stepped up to me was the bear was very far away. It was released in northern Wisconsin.
Okay.
I got it down in Oklahoma. I don't know the travel pattern because they didn't have a tag or a beeper on
Sure.
it. But the animal was only 12 years old.
Wow.
And he was that big. He was
Yeah.
that big. So anyway, but yes, no, the DNR scares the hell out of me at times.
Well, it's just you never know.
Yeah, you
You know,
don't. What am I doing wrong? Because I'm sure I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, and it could just be that guy had a bad day or that girl had a bad day, and they're like, you know what, I'm writing a ticket to every single person I see today, and you just don't know what you're getting. I mean,
I only think about my bear all the time because I see your bear on the wall.
oh yeah, right. I know.
It makes you think of bear stories.
It's just a picture of a bear. It's not actually a bear. Maybe after next year.
Yeah.
Hey, before we jump into our campfire controversy for this week, I just want to touch on Squad Fest. So we were down in St. Louis last week with Dive Bomb Industries. Let me just tell you, you know, I'm not the biggest waterfowler, or I'm not like the biggest duck hunter, goose hunter, whatever. Man, I had a blast because you get to meet all of the owners of Dive Bomb, and like my brother and my nephews have like been talking to these guys for 5 years now. This was 5 of 6 Squad Fest that my brother has gone to. But like, do you know Tony Vandemore?
No.
Okay, big mega like waterfowl guy.
Okay.
And then like just the rest of the guys and vendors, a number of guests that I'm gonna work on scheduling and figuring out. Totally worth the time. But one of the guests that we're gonna have on at some point here is an outfitter from Texas.
Okay.
And I'm going to briefly touch on this, but so they run sandhill crane hunts. And in their booth, they had a big mounted crane. And it's crazy to just like physically be right next to it because, you know, you always see them walking around.
Right,
You'd
right.
never get within striking distance.
Did you get a picture of it? Like,
I
how
did.
big?
Yeah. Actually,
So go on.
was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looking at it. And so we're there and we're talking to these guys, and they're like, you know what? I bet we only do 2 days of duck hunting the entire fall. The entire season for us for waterfowl is maybe 2 days of duck hunting.
And the rest is
I'm like,
cranes?
What? He's like, we have so many cranes down here.
Really?
We only do guided hunts for cranes.
Wow.
Now, of course, they do a lot with the
Come on.
yeah.
He ain't that big.
That's how big it is. So he's looking at the picture of the mounted crane in the booth, but he's like, and I have guys that we have on speed dial that if we think ducks are piling in by us, we'll call them and they'll fly in or they'll drive in that day
Really?
and hunt the next day.
Really?
So they only do like a couple of them. But those guys were so cool. And I think we're going to figure something out that my brother and nephews are going to go down and we're going to hunt. I'm going to film, but they're going to hunt the first part of January, I think, and take a trip down there and do something. But we're going to have them on because I would like to just like talk to these guys because, you know, cranes for us are a no-go.
Right.
And they were saying the one thing that I thought was super interesting about it was they were saying they have so many cranes down there between them and all of the other outfitters that are and guides that are down there. They might only shoot one banded crane a year between them and all of the other groups that he talks to. So whereas with like ducks and geese, they get banded all the time. Well, they just don't band as many cranes. The ones that they do band and that they track and that they find and they go on and they report it, they are no younger than 28 years old and up to 35 years old.
Yeah, and they're all from Wisconsin because we can't.
Because we can't shoot. They live up here all year. Isn't that crazy to think that these birds are living 30 to 35 years?
That's amazing. So now anybody that says the crane population is failing or the crane population is in need, you've got cranes that are 35 years old that are producing there's no way. Again, that crane, we talked to somebody, that crane hill number is low too.
Yeah.
So what I was curious is when they guide this hunt, did they tell, like, do they shoot them in the air? Do they stalk them on the ground? Like
I think they shoot them in the air.
Their heads, like, do you shoot them in the head? Do you body shoot them? Do you stalk them? Can you sneak up? You can't sneak up on them.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I don't know, but the video that I saw was that they their Instagram is panhandle.flyways. So like, look at this. I mean, they got freaking 20 of these guys right there.
That's amazing.
So there you go. They're flying away, and they look like freaking pterodactyls in the sky. So they're shooting them out of that area.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, because
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Wow.
And those are geese, I believe. But like the majority of what they do is all cranes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean,
what they say about taste? Is it good? Do they like
so
it?
good?
They say that.
Yeah, I mean, they just think that it's.
I mean, we hear it all the time. The ribeye in the sky, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I've never been able to.
So they must go into like March. Their season must go pretty late because they were still pretty active. Like,
so they're down in Texas. We just signed a catcher who I've known
just outside of Lubbock.
So I know his dad. His dad played in the big leagues, and I was asking him. Hey, you know what, blah, 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 blah. How big's your ranch? Well, my dad guides for somebody. I said, oh, does he? He goes, yeah. But then we take care of our ranch. And we just usually let ours, we hunt with friends and relatives and buddies and old ball players and stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah. How many acres you got? Oh, we got 1,800.
I knew it was going to be some
massive
number.
I go, 1,800? He goes, yeah, we got 1,800. We're just starting to get some turkeys. We got whitetail. Couple cranes come in. I go, oh, yeah, it's 1,800 acres. What do you, he goes, no. Yeah, we fenced it. I go, you fenced all 1,800 acres? All 1,800? Now, he didn't say high fence. He just said fenced. So I don't know that. But I suppose 1,800 acres is a community. You could have whatever you want there.
Right.
And he made it sound like their ranch is like, oh, yeah, we only have 1,800. My dad guides for this guy, guy. Like stupid numbers.
Stupid amount.
Like 1,800 is like 40 acres here, or 20 acres here, probably.
You know what? That would be so overwhelming for me, though, because, like, where do you even go to sit?
How do you even know? Like, your drone.
What are you running 2,000 cameras out there?
Yeah. Like your drone, you have to have drone stops because the battery dies before you can cover the whole thing. But your drone goes, 15, 20 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, well, with my new one, it's like 40 to 45, but still.
Okay. You can't cover 1,800 acres.
Yeah. I mean, and you're only limited by,
how far you can be.
Yeah, I mean, if you're line of sight and everything and you've got no interference, I mean, it says you could fly it like 18 miles, but that is absurd. I flew it around an entire subdivision yesterday just for a video for a real estate agent. You think about how big that is and you already start to run out of some signal, but there you have interference. So if you're just shooting straight over a cornfield and there's nothing in between you, maybe it's different, but I mean, you can't even monitor all of that.
No, and then I go 1,800 acres. Oh, and then he goes, oh, what about your place? How big's your food plot? I go, I exaggerate a little bit. It's like 6 acres. 6 acres. Like he's got
Oh my god!
He's probably like, oh, and he's real nice. I mean, he wasn't.
Right.
I'm like,
he just scoffed at you.
1,800. I mean, come on.
He's like, yeah, we could just like fold that in, and it wouldn't even really change what we do on a yearly basis.
Like you got to score. Like I could go live there, and you won't even know it. So can I just go live over there?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yes. But that cranes, very few. So that's a Texas property. Not sure exactly where they are. I kind of got confused on that one. But turkeys are starting to come in.
Okay.
Very few cranes, but cranes are starting to come in. But again, whitetail. Whitetail is there. Whitetail, bobcat, mountain lion, and coyotes. But yeah, that's kind of basically what it's
okay, before we wrap up the show this week, we've got about 17 minutes to go here. Why don't we upset the internet again and let's have a friendly conversation around the campfire for our campfire controversies this week. We've mentioned the word outfitter and we've mentioned the word high fence. We've mentioned a lot of that stuff so far this week. What's your stance on guided hunts or outfitter hunts? This could go either way, really. Those hunts should not count for the record books. Oh boy, here we go. Addie.
No,
Pat,
no.
Come over here.
Okay.
Addie.
Right at the
over here. Come
here. All right. Say that again. Okay.
So guided hunts should not count for the record books. And whether that's you're going to be like,
okay, but if you're saying a high fenced area that you shoot 318 inch, randoms,
gnarly,
those should not count. And I'm okay with them not. But if
Yeah.
I go on a guided hunt with somebody who, because we know a lot of guides, we know a lot of guides that have leased lands that take care of, actually do some farming for the farmers so that they can hunt on their property, or they can, they'll bale or they'll move stuff, they'll cut, they'll feed, they'll do things with the animals so that they can hunt their property. Again, it's not fenced in, it's free range. I think a guided hunt like that, like Zeke Espy, who we had from Mo Deer Hunts in Missouri, his land, and I've been down there, he just hunts randoms. Whatever he gets a piece of property, he's got his acreage, but he also has randoms. 100% it should count.
Right.
100%.
And the caveat or like the disclosure with that is those are all free range, no fence, any of that.
Right.
Would that change your mind if it was fenced in any
capacity?
Yes. Okay. And not even just saying like the gnarly 348 inch, whatever, non-typical, but just in general, some of those
fenced. I mean fenced, not like again, I don't know 1,800 acres what they have down in Texas. I can't imagine it's a 18-foot cyclone fence with barbed wires on it, like at a minimum or maximum security prison. But if you got like one barbed wire, like if you just got, you got your fence posts, and then you have a barbed wire where the animal can jump over it.
Right.
Free to come and go. I still consider that free range.
Yeah.
I consider that free range, and I think that should count no matter what. Okay, you don't? What's your thought?
No, I guess my question is, the way that now that we're talking about this, now that we've been thinking about it, it would be super cool to shoot like a world record whitetail. But like, isn't the whole point, I'm going to like take this on a tangent. Isn't the whole point to have that thing mounted in your basement and be like, you know what? I outsmarted that animal. So like for me, I wouldn't really care because when I told you this was going to be our question today, your response back was, well, like, what about your dad? If your dad goes out and he shoots, like maybe we go down to SB or maybe we go to like a game farm, he shoots a monster whitetail. I look at it from my dad's perspective. He wouldn't give a shit.
Well, wait a minute. But now you just said two different things. Like a guide and an outfitter is different than a game farm.
For sure. Yeah.
So a game farm, I don't know. No, not a game farm. I don't think you can go to a game farm. I don't think you can go to a game farm and shoot a 250 incher typical and say that you got the world record. No. Game farm and outfitters are different. But
very different.
But with your dad, He don't. Yeah, he don't.
He doesn't
He
care. And I guess I just look at it from that perspective, because you know what? You're still going to post it. You're still going to get, whatever comments or feedback or backlash online, whatever. Yeah, would it be really cool to do that? And would it be super cool if it was on the Wagner Ranch, or was it on public land, or was it wherever? Yeah, but the reality of it is that like you can do whatever you want at your place, and there's like a maximum. You might get a freak here and there, but you say it time and time again that you're just really good at growing 8-pointers.
Right.
Like that's what seems to be at your place. For whatever reason, those genetics in that area. Now, if you shot some, like when I turn that buck in to get processed and just quartered out, I wanted to get the cape and everything back. And either when we dropped it off or when we brought it back, there was like a 73-point buck that was sitting there.
173-inch?
No, 73 point.
Come on.
I know I could go back and I could find a picture of it because I know the date that I shot that deer.
Jeez.
And there is a fenced in game farm up there where they actually like take people out and
so they drive to like Ohio, and then they grab the sperm from Joey 4, and then they find it, and then she has been producing monster. I mean, if you're gonna mess with genetics,
right?
I don't think. Or how about this? Artificial insemination.
Yeah.
Then obviously you are off the books. You have no chance.
Right.
You do not count. I don't care what you say, because the chances of them being, even if you do get a random typical, those non-typical, I'm not a big fan.
It's just
unrealistic. That's a controversy too. I am not a fan of the non-typicals, those ugly non-typicals.
Right.
You can take all of them. And if I'd ever go somewhere and shoot something like that, a 300-inch, whatever non-typical, looks like a bunch of cauliflower heads on, not a chance in hell is that going on my wall.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't think it's attractive.
I don't like them either.
I don't think.
No,
I think it's
totally
I think
agree.
it's disgusting. I don't like it at all. It's not pretty. I think the white-tailed deer is pretty. I think it's a beautiful animal. And when you start doing that, and it looks like I said, broccoli and cauliflower.
The way that it does, right?
No, I don't even like them. I don't even like it. Some guys, hey, look what I shot. It's garbage.
You know what? I don't have a picture of it. I thought I did for sure, but whatever. Either way, but just to take a stance on it, I will say I don't think that they should count either. So I'll agree with you.
Really?
At first for game farms.
Oh, for game farms, yeah.
For game farms. I think there's so much scrutiny now, whether that's social media or internet scrutiny, or just general public backlash over shooting these game farm animals anyways.
Yeah. That
I think enough people are like, I don't know, but I personally don't want to spend $25,000 on shooting a 384-inch whitetail. And what fun is that?
Yeah.
Plus, I really like a beautiful, clean rack. Yeah. Like you were saying, like the ones that you have at the barn.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all like really beautiful, clean racks. Nice symmetry between them, and they're not like all of this like gnarly like corkscrews coming off of it.
No.
Like that's just not real life.
No.
So so we're both against it.
We're against that
for game farms.
For game farms,
yes.
Okay.
But outfitters is okay. Free reign is okay.
Guides are fine. And I know that's a business, and I know that those people, that's what they produce. Right. That's what they sell. That's what they guide for. You pay for you do that.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to my theory that the guys that do that don't really put the time into hunt, don't enjoy it.
They just want to show up and they want to be able to shoot a buck.
I know for a fact from a different person that there's an individual who played professional football,
mm-hmm.
who they flew him in so they could take pictures of him, and he got to shoot this 300 or 290-inch thing, and he actually flew out the next day. That's not hunting to me. Like, why would you do it? I don't know it. I know there's money in it. I know there's a bunch of baseball players actually that do breed and do that. They do breed whitetails for game farms. Again, that's the business. And
Right.
I think making money on that part is what you got to do. I mean, we're trying to make money, but never
Yeah.
interests me. Never interests
And
me.
I'm glad you stated that the way that you did, because what we're thinking about constantly right now, think about how much free time your brain would have if you didn't have to think about, when am I going to hunt? Where am I going to sit? What am I going to do? We got to get this stuff planted. We're running cameras now. If Paul Wagner just decided, I'm not doing any of that this year, I'm going to just pay, $5,000 and I'm going to go fly into a Kansas
Right.
outfitter this year, and I'm going to just go sit out there, what would we talk about? What would consume our lives if you just said, scratch it? I'm just going to go do an outfitter hunt this year. I'm not even going to worry about it, because that's not what we're about.
And I don't believe anybody that listens to us talk feels that
Right.
way either.
Yeah.
But there are so many of them
Right.
that just do that.
Right.
And again, he likes this. He likes trucks. He likes cars. He likes
Right.
motorcycles. I get it. He likes snowmobiles. People, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But in this industry, in this outdoors, I don't see how someone can go 365 days a year in their life, say they're an outdoorsman or a wildlife guy, because they go on a 4-day trip to Kansas and shoot a deer
Right. On the second day.
on the
And
second
then
day.
just
You
drink
you
for
you
3
can
other
you
days.
can bitch and moan all you want,
Right.
but you are not an outdoorsman. You're not a hunter if you 365 days out of the year you go to an outfitter for 4 days and shoot your
Right.
animal and have dinner and cocktails and jump in the spa and the hot tub and then come home.
Now-
You ain't a hunter.
Now, I just want to clarify. You have as many drinks and cocktails and fish fries as you want,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
spend time in the woods, please.
perfect.
Yeah.
After the sun goes down, then drink as much as you want. As long as you're not driving, you drink
Yeah.
as much as you want. You eat as
Exactly.
much as you want.
Exactly.
You throw as many darts. You play in the thing. You shoot. You pitch.
Yep.
We had hitting cages in the garage. You can do that. You can throw darts. You can play shuffleboard. You can do
Whatever you want.
You can come over to our house
Just
and you can
spend
do
a little time in the woods.
it. You can do anything you want in my
Yeah.
garage. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just got to wake up in the morning and hunt.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good. I wonder how the reaction will be with this one, but let's we've got a couple minutes here. We're jumping on a call at 1:30. First and foremost, HHA USA currently right now actively happening, whether it's now that we're recording or tomorrow when I post this. HHA USA Mission 42, I believe it is, at HHA Sports in Wisconsin Rapids, I
Right.
believe it is. I always want to just say Stevens Point, Wausau, Wisconsin Rapids. Their next mission is underway right now, so I'm going to join a couple listeners there tomorrow. I'll be driving up early in the morning just to, do a tour. You and I
Yeah.
have already had the pleasure of doing that tour, both the assembly and the sales shop. But that's happening this weekend. So Chris and I actually were going back and forth a couple times this week. We're always willing to bring a listener with. Chris has opened that invite up that if we do in fact have a listener that's not a first responder, that's not a veteran, that would like to tag along on one of these trips, I've been given the green light to actually invite somebody with and bring them along. This was kind of a recent development, so even though I tried to, bring one of our listeners with for this one, carpool with me,
Yeah.
get up there,
Yep.
do all that, it was just too short notice. But there's still another one in August. This one will be in Green Bay. That will be the final mission of this year. But, I just can't say enough great things about those guys. And they've been so good to us. They've been a great partner. And every time I go there, I know I'm going to leave with the same exact feeling of, I don't know how we're worthy of it, but, we try to be a good advocate for them. And,
Right.
it's such a great, great thing for the outdoors. The other thing, Charisma Customs, want to just give them a shout out. Boy, now that we've had all of this heat and everything, it's like thank God that I had window tint because my
Yeah.
steering wheel was like
Yeah.
melting the fingerprint off of my hand. So maybe I need front windshield tint. But how nice to have, somebody like that will just take care of whether that's like stereos for your boats, your trucks, your UTV, ATV, whatever. But to just also protect and perfect your vehicles, your toys, your boats, whatever that might be that you have. Save the paint, save the UV damage, and get it ceramic coated, and get the paint protection film put on there. But Charisma Customs in Delafield, charismacustoms.com. We've got to jump on this call, so we're going to wrap it up there unless you have anything else. We got probably 60 seconds.
No, we just did. Just to let you know, we are going to take some. We're going to send some pictures, or we're going to do some posts of food plots were cut.
Yep.
Plots are being sprayed. First application was done spraying. We're going to spray them again, and we are shooting for the week of August 9th or 8th through the 15th to plant and do some crazy things. We are definitely going to make sure we're going to actually take notes. We're going to follow the whole process this year with the drone, and that way we'll be able to see how it does, how it matures.
Yep.
What property likes, whether we like the brassicas, whether we like a certain company, whether we do this, whether we like rape and turnips and radishes, depending on what we want to do. But again, it's going to be kind of a neat. I think it's going to be a neat, like a clip of how this food plot on our properties mature.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Well, we're excited for this next conversation that we're going to have. Wanted to just give a shout out to our sponsors. As always, we'll post some of these clips. This episode will be live tomorrow, and I think that will be the 24th. So have a good weekend. You're on the road again here a little bit, but we've got a number of guests that are coming up that are going to be really great. Some of these guys that I met at Squad Fest. We've been reaching out to a number of people and a couple of different connections that we've been working just to kind of get things figured out there. But follow along, subscribe, and
one of the other things I wanted to say to you is
there's our guy saying, feel free to call whenever you're ready.
All right. One of the other things really fast is my sprayer is a Fimco, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Fimco. And they are out of Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay.
So later this year, next month, beginning of August, we are out in Sioux City.
Okay.
And I put a call into them, and I'm going to go out and try to meet them and see the facility.
Nice.
Because so many people use the sprayers. Mine's a 15-galloner right now.
Okay.
My other buddy, we got the property up in Richland Center.
Right.
They bought the 65-gallon that goes on the back of the Bobcat. And again, these are Bobcats, not Bobcat forklift. It's the Bobcat with thing with front. So again, hopefully a good company. Everything seems to be going good, but I look forward to meeting with them in Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay. Well, for Paul Wagner, I'm Eric Tasker. Another episode. I guess Hattie was also a part of this episode again because she somehow figures out how to get down here. For us, another episode of Flippin Sticks and Throwin Lead. We will talk to you next week.